Don't like the blinking. This is gonna be a really short video. Oh, damn it. I wanted to talk about that. So our minds are really fast because I didn't realize that screen was on for such a short amount of time. I'm gonna pause it. Okay. Because I had like complex thoughts about it, and then I had complex thoughts about the next slide, and it will take longer for me to describe them than the amount of time that passed. My name is Rob Middleton. I'm an abstract expressionist artist. I named my channel Humanism because I am developing a philosophy of humanism that I want to be able to describe. I'm centering it on me because I'm the only person I have access to, and I have signed over my consent to me to release all my personal data to the world for whatever reason. I guess maybe it goes back to deciding to be an artist and putting bios, out into the world and trying to sell. Because what I'm really trying to sell, my view of art, what I'm trying to sell is my feelings about my view of the world. So sometimes I describe them. The stuff I record is just an extension of me being an artist. I could, if this were an edited video, I could insert an abstract painting. Oh, I can do that anyway. It'll be really dark though. And I could say that has the same, like that equals what I'm saying right now. In my mind, it does. All my paintings are self-portraits of my emotional experience and view of the world. So humanism is me trying to put it into a format that's a little bit easier to convey than that. I mean, people do buy those, and so people do get something out of it, but I am interested in putting my thoughts, my emotional life, my experience of the world into. Now I keep saying writing, but so far it's videos. But I'm not sure in my head if I differentiate between writing and talking. I don't know. I don't know where anything is heading, and I would like to develop. What I would like to do would be to have one website that has everything on it. I'm picturing even like old school iframes or something, but I'm sure I could come up with something. But I feel like everything I do is the same project, and that's trying to survive and to develop a philosophy that keeps me alive. So I'm starting to watch a movie called Dark Star. It's John Carpenter's first movie. I know his name as horror, but this is sci-fi. It may have some horror elements in it. I don't know what I'm in for. I don't normally like horror because I'm sad, and I'm trying to learn to love all human beings. And for me, watching bodies, I mean, the amount of violence that I've seen in my life is disturbing to me. But I'm sure there'll be violence in this movie because that's the easiest way to get people's attention and put conflict into a story. Nevertheless, I'm going to spend an hour and 20 minutes watching this movie. It's been recommended as like an unknown gem. But I wanted to talk about Gem. Sorry, I hear. I actually try to pronounce my vowels different. I'm one of the last Americans to try to do that. So when I was picturing a gymnasium, a fitness, whatever they're called, I was picturing, because I said gym instead of gem. So ADHD works great. Most people try to fight it because they're trying to fit into the world as it is. I have just decided to skate on every last penny that I can squeeze out, the ill-begotten gains of being born into the family that I am. So, the next phase is going to be selling where I live, which is unfortunate, but it was purchased with money that I didn't earn. And then I'll take that money and hopefully, but it scares me to take on this big step. And I would rather just have $150,000 so I can continue to live here. But so go to my Patreon. No, I prefer you use one of my other. I prefer you not start a relationship with me on Patreon, but use one of the other ways to donate. Even Ko-Fi is better. Although there's my top recommendation would be LibraPay, but I gotta fix that for Venmo. I don't know. I'm not pretending that anyone's gonna see this. That was silly. The difficulty, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm in an artsy mood, but I'm also always in a social progress mood. And partly because I'm doing so poorly, I think about, well, what would it take to help me? So I'm fixated on improving the conditions of our world because I think it is headed for destruction for a very small number, for profit, that goes to a very small percentage of people. I was just watching a professor talk about, and she was using statistics for Europe, but the bottom 50% of people control less than 2% of the wealth, and like the top 10%, I think, control 60% of the wealth. So, so that's on my mind. But anyway, so I'm just trying to enjoy a movie, right? And it's an old movie, and I've always got I can't even think of the right word, but all I can think of to say right now is social equality or social improvement or something on my mind. But so I see this and it says, from Earth-based mission control McMurdo Sound, Antarctica. And one of the things, so I'm sitting down just to enjoy, the next hour, 20 minutes, but I can't turn off my critical brain that says, why is it called McMurdo? And there are so many places around the globe that have names imposed on them. Now I'm going to end up looking it up. It is most likely an explorer, and since there aren't natives to Antarctica other than seagulls, it might be one of the more legitimate names imposed on a place. But in general, there's names that are imposed on regions and just stuff all over the world that has nothing to do with, just like English names for places in Africa. Doesn't make sense. But so yeah, that's what I was thinking about when I saw this thing pop up. Well, it's like, who was McMurdo and what gives them the right to have their name on this thing forever? There's one I was just I watched another thing about the moon. Somehow Antarctica and the moon, kind of go together in my mind. But it's so nice that there's tranquility, a sea of tranquility. It might be a nicer world if instead of naming things after usually famous racists, if we would instead name them after traits that we admire. More things named harmony and tranquility and peace would, in my hippie beliefs, it would improve the world if more things were named after our good history or our aspirations and not our conquerors. But like I say, McMurdo might be the exception because there are no people native to Antarctica. But already by seeing it, it's like, what is that? Scottish? Well, let's see if the next... So this slide was so short, but I had that weird thought. And then as I was having it, it went into this. And then I had a thought about what B sub 2 might mean. That was interesting to me. Okay, and then
Hi, guys.
Hi,
Glad we got your message.
thanks.
You'll be interested to hear it was broadcast live all over Earth, prime time. Got good reviews in the trades. The time lag on these messages is getting longer. We gather from the 10-year delay that you are approximately 18 parsecs away.
Parsecs?
Drop us a line more often, okay? Sorry to hear about the radiation leak on the ship. And real sorry to hear about the death
Oh, God.
of Commander Powell. There was a week
Spoilers.
warning here on Earth.
For a
Flags were at half-mast.
50-year-old movie.
We're all behind you guys. About your request for radiation shielding.
Okay, so since I talk about social issues so much, when I don't hate this guy, I don't see him and I'm like, oh my God, this white conqueror. I think, and I just watched a movie earlier today in which it pretended to have an international cast, and of the 6 astronauts, 5 came back. Also, of the 6 astronauts, 1 was not white. It kind of sucks that you probably know, you can draw a conclusion that's correct from those 2 things I just said. However, it wasn't necessarily a careless death, and the character, we are interested in the character, and they are sort of admired, and all that is good. But the simple fact is, we do see that character for less time than all the white characters, and just in a simple sense of like who lives and who dies and who makes it. So that I sort of criticize. That sci-fi was set in the future and was meant to be a ship of international cooperation. So they didn't have to have it 5 white, 1 Asian. They could have had more diversity if they had chosen. Not that that is the only consideration, but the reason people talk about things like this is that we've had over 100 years of white supremacist propaganda. Sounds strong, but that's what it is when you see a vision of the world in which white people run everything and do everything. So And you know, there's a voice saying, well, other countries have their own movies, and that is true. I'm speaking because in the United States there are immigrants from all over the world, so I think our media should reflect that more, as should our government and our corporations and our schools and everything else. I think I'm gonna end. I'm not really in the mood to talk, and I'm holding this thing weird, and I'm not wearing clothes, so there's always a fear that I might accidentally show that. I just wanted to create a record that I may be feeling a little bit better, a little bit more up, and we'll see what tomorrow holds, because I'm coming to the end of my day shift, but maybe I'll feel like doing more tomorrow. And also, I mean, what matters even more than my body is the wake up of my mind or my spirit. It's been really bad, and some of that is due to outside. I have relied on a small number of outside people, and they haven't been available. One friend local just had strep throat, and their children were also sick. The doctor who is supposed to be, working to alleviate my pain, actually stood me up when I had a telehealth appointment. I did the check-in call, and I was told to expect a follow-up, and it never happened. And that happens a lot, or has happened twice with this office. So, but basically the theme of the holiday season for 24-25 for Rob is that I can think of a handful of people that I have relied on who are not sufficient to get me through the time that I'm at. So I don't know what comes next. I feel like saying you people are my only friend. Yellow blob on the screen, yellow green blob. And you know what I mean by that. But that's good, because when I'm creating, and what I mean by you people is anyone who ever sees this, and that would be, that would include future me if I do. Because what's most important to me is sharing ideas and developing, as I say, recording my humanism philosophy to find a way to live that's good and positive, even while being realist, while being for those of us who don't have supernatural beliefs, how can we still feel fulfilled? So that's the work that I work on. Okay, I'm gonna watch this movie now, but I guess, I don't know, I could let you play along. I'll stop it eventually. This is gonna be a shorter video. Bye.
Sorry to report this request has been denied. I hate to send bad news when you guys are up there doing such a swell job,
What request?
but I think you'll take it in the proper spirit. been some cutbacks in Congress, and right now, considering the distance we're all behind you guys.
But
About your request for radiation shielding,
too expensive.
sorry to report this request has been denied. I hate to send bad news when you guys are up there doing such a swell job, but I think you'll take it in the proper spirit. Been some cutbacks in Congress, and right now, considering the distance, we just can't afford to send a cargo shuttle out there to you. But I know you guys will make do. Keep up the good work, man.
Okay, so that's funny. This is from 1974, and they are clearly stating that money is more important than human life. And even when you're doing a mission that is for the government, for the nation. And this was 1974, John Carpenter's first film. So, here we are 50 years later, and we haven't solved that. So that's one of the reasons that I am not content. I don't want to just get along with the system as it is. I guess I could pull out my old words, paradox and compossibility, but the paradox, I guess, is that I'm not content to compromise myself and my values to fit in or, possibly succeed in the world as it is. I don't think we have time for that. And instead, I want to demand improvement, while at the same time, I know that's unrealistic. So I'm like taking on the burden of changing the whole world with the knowledge that that is impossible and unhealthy for me to shoulder. So that's the paradox, or I like to transform paradoxes into compossibilities, because paradoxes are two contradictory things that coexist, and the emphasis is on the opposition, whereas compossibility are two things that are possible at the same time. So just a slight tweaking of the same concept, but since I'm acknowledging that it's true, even if it causes cognitive dissonance, what I'm acknowledging as true is that I'm not content fitting myself into the world as it is, and I do want to change the world, while at the same time I know that that is impossible and that believing so harms me. So the fact that those two things exist side by side that's part of my spiritual development, to work on that. Just like I work on, part of my spiritual development is to work on loving every human on earth, even though there are many who are not behaving lovably. So the conflict there is that I believe that unconditional love is is part of my philosophy that I'm attempting to record. Human is some. Unconditional love is an important part of it, and while at the same time I acknowledge how difficult it is. So these are all the compossibilities of my book that I wish I knew how to write, but maybe instead I'm just making it a series of videos, and it's really hard to find the information. But if I had like a volunteer who would sew together the points I'm making, that would help build this crazy movement that I want to change the world. All right. I is it time to end the video? I think it is. Oh, I guess we could see some of the. Whoa. Oh. So if you like, I mean, I'm a lover of sci-fi, and so no matter bad or good, I'm looking forward to this. And it was on an underrated movies list, and bad special effects don't bother me in this case. Okay, that's it. '74, remember?